Welcome to the replay video of the NextGEN Innovision event that was held on Thursday, January 16th, 2025. And for our partners all around the world, it was Friday, January 17th. And I'm recording this separate intro because we didn't start the recording until about 5 minutes in. And we wanted our friends who didn't see this to get the framework and the big picture before diving in. So sit back, enjoy your time, dream big, and join our adventure. Hello, everyone. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone joining us from all around the world. We have students dialing in from China and Kenya and partners, places where it's some pretty crazy hours right now, and our friends on the East Coast staying up late with us at 10 p.m. Wow, your dedication means so much. And for our European friends who couldn't join because it's the middle of the night, don't worry, we'll have a replay and another meeting in another month or so. Tonight is incredibly special because we are showcasing the projects developed by our incredible students over the past 2 weeks as part of Dream Tank's collaboration with Brown University, my alma mater. This is Heidi Kupari, and this is our 4th annual program with Brown, and each year it keeps getting more inspiring. For those of you who might be new here, Dream Tank is a global movement dedicated to empowering young people to dream big and design solutions for the world's greatest challenges. And the story of how Dream Tank began is deeply personal for me. Back in 2016, I was at a family office impact investing conference when I was asked, "What would you do if you had 1 year left to live?" That question caught me off guard, but immediately I thought of my kids, Summer and Cody, and the brilliant, curious questions they would ask about the world. I realized that if I had 1 year left to live, I would create a think tank for kids, a space where their ideas could drive real solutions for global problems. And that's exactly why we're all here today. 8 years later, Dream Tank has supported youth in launching innovative projects, from advocating for laws to filing patents and even helping students gain scholarships and enter prestigious universities. We've built a community where every young person knows their voice and ideas matter, no matter their age. This 2-week sprint with Brown University students isn't just an internship, it's an adventure. These students have designed bold, impactful projects that align with our mission to inspire collaboration across sectors and generations. Tonight, you're going to see the future in action. So, without further ado, I am honored to introduce you to the first of our Brown University Dreammakers. Please welcome Ava Celeste.
Hello everyone, I'm so excited to be here and share this journey with all of you. My name is Ava Celeste, and I am a senior at Brown University, majoring in International and Public Affairs with a focus on development. As I approach my final semester, I've been reflecting deeply on the kind of impact I want to make in the world. It all started when I took an economics class during my freshman year, which first introduced me to the concept of green venture capital. That class opened my eyes to the immense potential of innovative solutions in digital ecosystems and driving meaningful change. It captivated me and sparked a passion for entrepreneurship that I hadn't explored before. Since then, I had the incredible opportunity to study abroad in Portugal, where I worked with an organization called My Polish. My Polish focused on gamifying civic engagement, turning innovative ideas into real-world solutions to empower communities. It was through this experience that I realized how powerful it is to create platforms that support young people in turning their ideas into impactful solutions. This realization led me to dedicate my career to creating platforms and solutions that empower young people and turn their ideas into impactful solutions. So I'm very excited to be working with Dream Tank today and presenting my project to you all.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Francis and I am from Kenya. Actually, I'm from Laikipia, Kenya. I am also I'm a junior at Brown University and I am studying applied math and economics. I previously interned in a management consulting firm, and also I have been very involved in running an entrepreneurial program for high school students in Providence. It's called Young Entrepreneurs of Providence, YEP. And that kind of ignited my passion for entrepreneurship and especially for young people. And that led me to apply to Dream Tank, which gives young people the power to imagine, design, and create solutions for the most problems that we face in the world. And I was so happy to hear that the first international destination for Dream Tank would be Kenya. And I couldn't be more excited to work on this project. And for the last 2 weeks, we have been working on how Dream Tank can expand to Kenya. And we are so excited and we welcome you today. And we are going to show you the work that we have done and how we are going to move forward. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Hongyu Jasmine Zhu. You can call me Jasmine. I'm from Chengdu, China, which is the city you'll visit if you come to Panda Base in China. I'm a sophomore at Brown. I study comparative literature and sociology. And my interests, I'll share two of my interests, one in languages and the other in community engagement. When I first became an international student, I first discovered that I was walking in between two languages. That's where I found my way into love of literary translation, which not only became an anchor for me while living abroad, but also I come to discover that comparing across borders and also trying to by act of translation, try to grow something beautiful out of negotiating the differences in languages is something that could become a metaphor for many things that could enact a community change. I also love writing letters. I've been writing letters to elders through a nonprofit organization, to elders who are living difficult lives, and also being correspondents with underrepresented children in my local city. But only being a volunteer. But as I was being a volunteer to these organizations, I was really inspired by the founders' stories of how they could really transform their personal story of love to something that could invite a lot of strangers to join in, turn them into friends, and then make unimaginable rippling impact in the community, which also led me to ask questions on my own, related to my own interests. Questions of what if we have little libraries flowing in the local community, or what if I can bring this love for our elders thing to China? What if we could introduce a storytelling-based grieving practice in my local community? So when I found Dream Tank, it really encouraged this kind of what if thinking. And I thought, oh, there's so much that I can learn and can be inspired by people who are even so much younger than me, than their stories to change. And that's why I joined.
Maybe we can go to the next slide, I think. All right, and I'm just going to do a brief introduction of all the mentors who have been so amazing in helping us along every step of the way. We couldn't have done any of this project without our mentors. We can all definitely attest that we've learned so much in just a short period of time. Of course, we have Heidi Kapari, who is the founder of Dream Tank, who was just speaking. She owns our home consulting firm, and she's interested in systems change finance, youth innovation, and empowerment. And she has been involved in this industry for over 25 years and has been a really great resource to me in development of my innovation fund. And then we have Eleni and Sophia. She's an advocate for compassionate systemic change and a co-developer of regenerative living projects within Dream Tank. Then we have Matej Fauzi, who is the co-founder of Asante, focusing on supporting local businesses through conscious market strategies. He's been helping me a lot throughout all of this. And then we have Emma Kraft, who is the founder of Coral Sunscreen and longtime Dream Tank collaborator. She advocates for youth funding and global collaboration through this as well. And last but definitely not least, we have Cami Fauzi, who is the COO of Asante and a mentor who's been mentoring me as well, bringing entrepreneurial expertise and university-sponsored innovation insights. Okay, we can go to the next.
In our journey to scale Dream Tank globally, we made friends with the Safe House. The Safe House is an organization in Kenya that focuses on improving mental health outcomes among youth through art. And yeah, Derek is here, who is the founder. Derek.
Hello, hi. I hope you're all good. Yeah, my name is Derek from Kenya. And yeah, Safe House is more of a safe space where we try to, achieve and also create a room for, you know, people to grow. That is basically from our communities. And it was founded in 2020, and it was more of an initiative online, which was a group of passionate students where we came up to raise awareness about mental growth and also mental awareness. And our efforts of launching this has probably have us, educate, engage our peers in our mental health topics. And this has mainly encouraged us to protect our planet, mostly to also encourage economic growth and also focus on, promoting gender equality and also empowering our women. And there are so many cases in Kenya, up to 75% untreated mental state. And we are looking at, of course, also coming together, basically aiming at improving our mental health and meeting and coming up with the Innovation Lab, where we have been thankful for meeting Haiti from Dream Tank, and we want to have our challenges and our special needs, of course, in having our innovators grow in us and also have the potential to make Safe House as a community to engage and also have an open dialogue to global collaborations where we are focusing on having our challenges that is associated with our mental care to increase our outreach and also have our team to focus on, of course, also proving the fact that there is a need to have our mental care protected. And we focus on the motto that want to, not need to, because we want to create an environment where kids foster and also our youths and innovators including our entrepreneurs and our peers to have a safe environment. And I think from learning through Dream Tank initiatives and learning through Dream Tank moves, when we want to collaborate in having these challenges to be looked into, and also we want to create a safe space where we interact more and have our kids have a safe environment where they can grow, not only in their education, but also in their mental state. Because I believe 2020 vision is to have a protected planet, mostly to have our mental health and allow our well-being to be the best. So I'm privileged to be here to meet all of you and also have this platform where we want to have our challenges and our ideas heard. And I came with Dillon, one of our team members, and also Elizabeth from Kenya. And we have been working with the interns from Brown University, and we are here to make our dream and interrogate. So yeah, thank you.
Who here has been to Kenya? By the way, raise your hand or do just, there was, was my very first trip to Africa in 2000. And one of my friends from Brown, who was on this morning, Chandra Metzler, helping with the pitch coaching, she was on a Fulbright. And I went and I fell in love. And I learned some Kiswahili. And that was our connection point with Derek, because when I met him on the phone, we got connected. We were on the phone and I recognized his accent. I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, I'm from Kenya. I said, well, I know some Kiswahili, Nataka Kuana, and that means I want to see a lion. What other words do you need to know when you go to Kenya right now? But of course, a lot more. But that was such a great connect. There's so much magic in Dream Tank. It's like a magnetic field of magic when people who are driven to care about youth and to care about the childlike wonder when they meet each other. It's just there's sparks, and this is a lot of how this is also going to happen and keep moving with many sparks around the world. Thank you, Derek. It's so happy to have you here. And I want to just say Emma just came on. Emma Kraft, would you come on come on camera, Emma? So Emma.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry,
Hi.
my Wi-Fi is being a bit spotty, but hi.
Hi. Look at all of this from the point when a lot of the origin of what we're creating a lot on the Innovation Fund side that Celeste has been working on was inspired by Emma coming to me. You want to tell your story really quick?
Sure. The Innovation did.
And they don't know that you've been with us since you were 12 too. Some people don't know.
Yeah. I met Heidi back when I was 12. I did my first pitch when I was in middle school with her. And a lot has happened since then. But I'm currently working on a sunscreen company that helps to regenerate the coral reefs. So instead of just being reef safe, it's actually beneficial. And I came to Heidi this past summer, and I needed funding to finish my R&D, to finish the formulation. And I wanted to get creative instead of trying to find a traditional investor. And so we actually created this grant, and we had an event, and we raised over $10,000 within a week of the event that we put on. And so the Innovation Fund, part of the grant that I got also went to Dream Tank and helping support other youth. And I really love the idea of carrying it forward and also helping other young founders and people looking for funding to find creative solutions instead of the traditional investing pathways, so that young people in particular could maintain more of their company while they were still in formulation and building of their ideas.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And when we get into that later, it's going to be exciting to see what's happened since then, right? Look at all these amazing people.
I know it's such a honor to watch everyone take this on, and Celeste in particular. And it's such an honor to be here. So thank you for having me.
Beautiful. So Jasmine.
Yes, now we're gonna take a glance at what's in store today for us in the collaboration lab. You'll get ready to embark on a global challenge, encounter beautifully impactful stories of the safe house in Kenya, how we model to scale Dream Tank globally, and you'll also make a new AI friend and colleague.
My portion of this presentation, it's in two parts. I'm going to be introducing to you an innovation fund I created. What's to come with that will come later, called Nova Venture. And also I have a fund, also interactive gamified version of the fund that I will introduce later on as well. So I'm looking forward to presenting it and hearing what you think.
Yes. And so we would love to hear in the collaboration, we have a lot to share, right? But we really do want interactivity. And so we're going to try to pause, make comments, please. And we'll pause in between the projects as well.
We have persistent global challenges that we are all familiar with. Climate change discussion is one that is very at the top of everyone's mind, probably. This is a challenge that has been for generations. We have gender inequalities in most parts of the world. In Kenya, I know there has been recent femicide rates have been soaring, and we have seen a lot of anti-femicide protests going on. Mental health struggles is also something that is not very catered for. And just to use an example of Kenya, almost more than 70% of people don't have access to mental health resources. Economic disparity is also one of the biggest challenges, and we are probably most familiar with. These are challenges that have been here for centuries and generations, and there has been limitations to traditional solutions that we have seen come developed to conquer these challenges. One of the biggest limitations is the lack of inclusivity, and this has led to them being ineffective. For example, most of these solutions do not involve everyone. For example, the youth's voices are being left out, and many other communities. So why not empower the youth to solve these challenges? This is the approach that Dream Tank takes. Jasmine.
Yes. So why not we involve the youth? However, the youth involvement has really been alarmingly low. We might find ourselves in a world where dream-crushing remarks are very common, such as, "What do you know about saving the world from climate change?" An 8-year-old kiddo, or a world where the picture, as you find in the right bottom right corner, the page, we're a conference room full of brainstorming, crossfire, and intellectual collaboration, all coming from young kids. Like this one, you see, we might find ourselves in a world where such a scene is unimaginable. But Dream Tank coaches Brave. Dream Tank makes the unimaginable no longer impossible by really engaging the youth. Heidi, next slide, please. Engaging the youth in co-creating solutions for the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, fostering creativity and entrepreneurship. Even by the simple example of Dream Tank's improv game, where children take turns to role play dream makers and dream crushers, where children learn to even appreciate and cultivate empathy for people who criticize them, to really fuel love out of what might not automatically translate to love, teaching through spontaneity and fun. And if Heidi wants to shed a little more details on that, if you want.
Oh, yes. Well, that was it's one of the most fun things. It's an improv game. And especially, she's right, 8-year-olds, working on a Dream Tank program, going home and saying, I'm gonna take plastic out of the ocean, right? And their parents or other people around them might say something like, who are you to think you could do that? Or, I mean, we mean well. A lot of people are really trying to, help our kids focus, or help our kids do what they need to do in the world, right? But the world's changing so much. We might as well listen to them and let them chart their own course. And when they have a dream and they have an idea, let's listen to them and help them actually do it, versus say you can't do it. Because guess what? Many of the jobs are going to be gone by the time a lot of kids graduate. The world is changing so fast. We might as well help them create their own jobs, their own path, their own course. So we help the kids, and usually we go through an accelerator process, dream, design, launch. And when we're in the design phase and they've come up with their idea, and they have talked to some people, we have them do customer validation. So they talk to a few people that might be their customers. And then we do the improv game. So they're armed with confidence because they've already heard feedback about their project, right? So when people say, who are you to do that, right? The kid can say, or the young person can say, well, actually, I've talked to 5 people. I've tested my pricing. They said they would pay it, and they actually offered me a distribution deal, which has happened, right? And the people are floored, and it just melts it. And so it's all, and in the end, we coach the young people even to invite the dream crushers on, helping them on their team. So it's just a really nice transformational tool than one of the things that we do at Dream Tank.
We Dream
You
Tank
want
has been,
Sorry, I'll go back.
yeah. Dream Tank has been empowering youths for 8 years now, primarily in the US. So we developed a global expansion framework that we will use to take Dream Tank to other parts of the world. And this is how we are going to run Dream Tank programs in other parts of the world. Dream Tank has a proven method that works. So we think by adopting that method, we are going to have the most impact. The first thing that we're going to do when developing these programs is found them on Dream Tank's creed and mission. Dream Tank focuses on addressing youth challenges, global challenges through entrepreneurship, using the youth, and also has the design thinking, which is dream, design, launch kind of process, and also focuses on UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we think this is a good approach. The Dream Tank Creed also instills the values of creativity, collaboration, and responsible innovation globally. A good first paragraph of our Dream Tank's Creed is what you see up there, which says we are visionaries, creators, and change makers. In this space, our dreams are limitless, our ideas are bold. We believe that the impossible is merely the untried, and that every challenge holds the seed of transformation. With that in mind, it's going to be easy to inspire change in other communities internationally. And we think carrying with us this creed will make the youth empowered and motivated to take on challenges. Next.
Yes, and there's a whole list of principles that we can send, but it was created as a combination of the Jedi Creed and the Burning Man principles, which because it's like what we stand for, and young people have helped add to it and create it for the past 8 years.
We also believed in localized implementation because it can't be one size fits it all. We believe different societies have different cultures and slightly different problems to some extent. So we believe in using the franchise model to launch Dream Tank in international locations. This one, we will also use the Dream Tank Expansion Toolkit, which we have developed already, which has curriculum guides, marketing strategies, budgeting, operational frameworks that's going to guide people run Dream Tank programs in their localities. Next, we believe also in the value of strategic partnerships and Dream Tank in running Dream Tank programs. We are going to engage with local schools, universities, NGOs, government agencies, private sectors to create and run the programs, and also leverage international networks to create partnerships and secure funding for expansion. In terms of program delivery, we have developed a program. We have developed a customized curriculum which addresses regional specific challenges while incorporating core elements like the design program, dream design launch process. We have included innovative learning models like accelerators, hackathons, after-school labs, and innovation hubs tailored to local context too. We have also developed capacity building. We are going to train mentors, facilitators, and student leaders in design thinking, entrepreneurship, and leadership using Dream Tank's playbook that we already have. We also believe we are in the value of having youths themselves being ambassadors. So we are going to recruit and empower youth ambassadors to lead these initiatives and expand Dream Tank to their regions. We also believe in the value of technology, of course. The youth and technology always a big impact. So we have developed a custom GPT for this program, and things like virtual mentorship and gamified learning experiences is also something that already Dream Tank runs, and we are going to take them internationally. Of course, all this without accountability wouldn't be very meaningful. So we are going to use things like participation metrics, project outcomes, and feedback to measure impact and improve these programs. We are also going to regularly publish progress reports and showcase achievements and areas for growth. Next. The first international destination, as we said, is Kenya, and we have partnered with the Safe House Kenya. This is going to be like a prototype of how we are going to expand internationally. And next.
Wait, this picture.
Oh,
Tell them how
yeah.
this picture happened.
Yeah, I actually went and met
This
with
is
the members of the
Francis.
Safe House. Yeah. I met with members of the Safe House and we discussed how we can run these programs in Kenya. And this is how we took a picture. We were having games, and it was a very fruitful meeting. And we look forward to working together.
This is usually unheard of because this is a virtual program. So usually the students are all around the world and they never expect that there's an entire team in their backyard that they can go meet with in the middle of the program. So this was pretty another real divine spark and magic that came. And too bad Elizabeth wasn't there and some of the other team, but it's great to see your smiles.
We have developed a curriculum for different programs. This is an example of one of the programs. On this one, we will be taking on Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which is good health and well-being, and the title will be Mental Health Matters. Here, we are going to have design challenges, but we are going to focus on mental health issues. So we are going to help entrepreneurs, youth entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial journeys, but focus on addressing mental health outcomes. As we have already said, almost 75% of Kenyans don't have access to mental health resources, mental health education, and most of them don't know how to deal with mental health challenges when they face one. Our mission will be to empower.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Our mission will be to empower, boldly, collaborate effectively, and launch impactful products while prioritizing mental health. Yes, next. This will be young entrepreneurs designing their solutions to problems that they have identified. In these 3 stages of design thinking, as they design their solutions, we are going to incorporate mental health topics. In the dream phase, we are going to focus on resilience while they create their solutions. We are going to help them manage the emotional highs and lows, and also the whole mental health cycle that goes with building or dreaming big and working towards a solution. In the design phase of their solutions, we are going to help them deal with stress management, mindfulness, and collaboration. We are going to help them work in teams and handle feedback constructively, basically be in their best when they are designing these solutions. In their launch phase, we are going to help them develop self-confidence and handle setbacks that they are going to encounter in life. Something like burnout will be something that they'll probably encounter, and we're going to help them take breaks and have the ability to be in their best mind when doing the launch. Next.
Oh, yeah, just a time check. We're 45 minutes in, so we need to get this is again friendly, so you're all getting under the hood. But just time check. Yeah, so we might want to just click through this slide.
Yeah, we are going to do this through a couple of exercises like meditation, reflection journals, writing about oneself in that person, daily check-ins, and case studies and games to enhance learning and adaptability. Next. We have like an example of prompts that we are going to help them. That's like the real work that's going to help them deal with the mental health stuff. And these are some of the prompts, pre-program, post-program in general. Yes.
This is the first they're hearing about the custom GPT, though. So I hope we'll share. It's like so exciting. I mean, we really used AI for good, everyone. I mean, this 2 weeks, there's what all of this stuff that we won't even be able to get to, and we're gonna have to have a part 2 at a more sane hour when when Jasmine and Francis get back to Brown on East Coast time. But what we really like went unbelievably, and really we only had 1 hour a day when we all could be on the same call because of the time zones. So what you see here is truly like following the sun collaboration, right? We would be passing off, okay, you're going to sleep. I'm leaving this, so you're going to pick it up while I'm sleeping. And we've been doing this the whole past 2 weeks. And we all were exhausted at one point. That's why we had to divide up the calls. And we only had 1 call a day that actually worked for all of us, which was this time. That's why we have this time. So we're going to launch into the next part. But if we don't get to everything and we don't get collaborative enough, please forgive us. We're attempting to do big things, as you know, and we're just having fun along the way too. Did anyone see the South Park episode? We couldn't resist. It was really good.
Yes, as Francis talked about how we did a reimaginings of Safe House's past programs with Dream Tank's resources on mental health and on STEM in high school, which we didn't get into that much. We were thinking what would be the most efficient and quickest way when we were thinking about scaling Dream Tank globally. So then all our partners across the globe in different time zones, we might not be able to connect. So swiftly to get the train the trainers training the best. And Heidi mentioned her daughter Summer's school project on creating a custom GPT. So we thought that could be something that we can look into, where working closely with Safe House staff, we thought they could get trained on Dream Tank curricular and structures the quickest. So we created an AI friend called Time to Dream Big. Also, we would love anyone who can come up with fun names for our AI friend. Maybe after you see how it works and our envisions for it, we'd love your brainstorming great ideas in the chat. Or if you think of any, you can always send it to us. So it's the custom GPT we're developing, which focuses on how Dream Tank's resources, curriculum, and mentorship can help in launching and organizing sustainable youth entrepreneurship programs across the world. And the main goal is to inspire and support the creation of local events with Dream Tank brand, tapping from inspiration from what the local community has already been doing and addressing, and leveraging Dream Tank's frameworks and resources. So rather than directly solving the community issues, we would like our Time to Dream Big friend suggest ways on how to engage local youth in the challenges, ideation, and design thinking that would align with Dream Tank's mission. And in developing our GPT, we identified basically 3 biggest important goals. We wanted, first of all, to chat with future partners to dream, design, build Dream Tank programs. And this is a really great input from Elizabeth from Safe House. We wanted to crack jokes and be a friend. And we also wanted by Dream Tank creating body, play, and magic. Yes, and so when we're doing this development, we also go through the dream design and build process. Yes, Heidi, you can change the slide. Thank you.
Do you want me to launch the actual GPT at one point? When do you want me to do that?
Yes, I was planning on sharing screen myself. I don't know if I would mess up with your screen sharing, or we can just switch back to you after I screen share.
And I'll stop sharing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Maybe probably very quickly soon. So this is the trajectory came up with developing the custom GPT. We're probably at around step 3 right now. We were collecting and preparing.
None of us are tech people. So we still did that. They still did this. So I have to add little comments there to cheerlead along the way because this was such an exciting journey.
Yes, all powered by Heidi's encouragement of you can do this. Nothing can stop you. So yes, we were collecting and preparing data gathering data, which is basically by talking with Safe House people on the wonderful programs they've done, the stories they've shared with community members, interviewing them by gathering Dream Tank past resources, compiling them, updating them with Heidi's input, SDG documentation, which all of these then upload to the custom GPT platform. There's also a process of formatting the data, of organizing them into prompt and response pairs as a springboard for our AI friend to go off of, and include some creative and playful examples, open-ended questions that we think, we hope could pop up from here and there, like in your dream world, how might a student think and act in face of mental pressures in academics, social well-being, in family relationships, or what stories did the last tree planting day leave behind? Such questions for our GPT friend to ask for the user to be more actively engaged, because when we were developing it, we also found that it's not as easy as we thought it was, and a lot of the fine tuning needs to be redone, or it's forgotten. So we would also appreciate input expertise from anyone who's tech savvy in the audience. Maybe you could teach us how to better this fine-tuning process. And eventually, we're also envisioning perhaps anime characters and interactive graphics, which would require hosting it in a server. We appreciate an additional member to join us on the technical side. So now I'm going to try to screen share. And because the fine-tuning process is still in progress, so I'll ask for your forgiveness if our AI friend doesn't react to our expectations. Right. If you all can see the screen, I'm sorry, I was struggling to change the Chinese from to English, but I'll explain. This is the edit window of our custom GPT tool. Basically, we input our instructions for the GPT, what we wanted to do, the tone we wanted to have, the playful tone. And we also created two modes because we realized that the GPT's initial response is to throw back a host of information at user input, which we thought could be very overwhelming. So we created two modes, the buddy mode and mentor mode, which users can choose if they want to engage in more back and forth interaction, or they might just want a more detailed, comprehensive guide to get started. Uploading all the documents, either from Dream Tank or Safe House, or Francis and I's reimaginings of programs or frameworks. And maybe we can try something from here. I remember.
Can you try
yes.
this, Jasmine? Can you try this?
Yes, we're having
Okay.
live demo of Derek using. Yes, go ahead.
So I want you to try, how can we sparkle the existing STEM program in high schools using the Dream Track magic?
Right. Okay, hopefully it works. Fingers crossed.
Oh.
All right, let's see if it does the two mode thing. Oh no. Well, when I was fine-tuning it, I was hoping that it will ask up front if you want to choose between the buddy mode or the mentor mode, but I'll keep working on that. So as it turns out, Derek, it has a lot of information for you.
It's fantastic.
Wow.
A little emojis here. Do you want, it talks about transforming the approach, maybe integrating problem-solving challenges. It talks about the design thinking and how to integrate youth entrepreneurship into the process. Mentorship from local innovators, STEM and mental health, which probably comes from our reimagining documents, global collaboration, community projects, and incorporate playful competition. Do you want to pick on a specific aspect to keep engaging with it, Derek?
Okay, let's. Can you scroll up?
Oh, yes. Here?
Wow. Okay, that's quite a lot of information. I mean, I love the STEM. It's bring an effective communication strategy on how we can actually make the existing problems have a solution and also a step. I mean, like the community STEM number 6. Can you scroll?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Um, It's a design park using sustainable technology, creating clean water solutions, leverage dream tanks, entrepreneurial approach to make them feel like I feel it's a good tool that we can use as a safe house in our community and in also in our sustainable projects, where at least it's gonna give us a little bit more of dream tank, um, content and how we can actually streamline
And it
our
should have, eventually it'll
yeah.
have training modules on there too. So this is just the start, but you'll have training. They'll train the voice to train and actually give you the content in each one. But this is incredible, everyone. I actually already used this.
Yeah.
I already was using this today since you guys started, because other documents and events for Dream Tank, I was just, it's really spectacular. I just want to pause for a second and just say, if anybody has thoughts, comments, a fun thing you want them to ask it. And I just want to also do a time check. We only have 35 minutes left and we have to get to the Innovation Fund, but we will have a part 2, everyone. Don't worry, don't fret. But I would love to hear, just any reactions or thoughts from anyone in the audience. I know we have, some old people, new friends. Don't
Heidi,
make me.
I'll say something, Heidi.
Thank you.
So
I was going to say, don't make me say Bueller.
thanks. Hi guys, my name's Ramsey Farris. Last name's Farris, not to be confused with Ferris. Ferris Bueller, to Heidi's joke. Nice to meet everyone. This is amazing what everyone has been working on, and seeing just, the evolution of things. I've been a part of Dream Tank for a very long time, and have worked on so many amazing things, and seeing what you guys have been working on right now is very incredible. So, my hat's off to all of you, and I'd love to build and develop more. And I think at this point, Heidi, since it is getting a little late over here, I am on the East Coast. I'm in so I'm right outside of New York City, living in New Jersey. So that's the part of the world that I'm on, and I do a lot of business internationally. So I tend to often wake up at odd hours, which Heidi and I have in common, dealing internationally. So yeah, everything that you guys have been working on so far sounds amazing and really aligns with a lot of the things that I'm doing and different partnerships around the world that I feel can benefit through the program as it's continuing to develop. So yeah, so I just thank you all. I'm probably gonna have to go after this too. So, but looking
Yes,
forward to part
thanks,
2.
Ramsey. Ramsey's done a lot, has always been on the cutting edge of using media technology and storytelling. So I knew he'd be a great person to come on. And
I'm happy to be here. I really am. I
yeah,
mean, this crew seems like really incredible here. Ava, Yasmin, and Francis and Derek and everyone, just really like incredible stuff that you all are working on, and I'm excited to even like integrate it here in like New York and New Jersey with some of the programs we have. So yeah. So the next call, and just keep me in the loop. I mean, I'm looking forward, and Heidi, please feel free to share my information if anyone else have like a breakout call at any other time.
of course,
I'd be
that's what
glad to
we're here
talk to
for,
anyone.
collaboration.
Pretty cool.
Thank you so
Okay.
much,
Awesome.
Ramsey.
Thank you guys. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have, okay, so We got some comments in here. It's everybody's thanks, Emma, for the comments. Celebrations, comments, cheerleading, all are helpful along the way. We'd love to hear. And I love seeing Braden here, some friends from COVID. Braden is here. He was in our reverse pandemic team, just to take a break to call people out who showed up here. And and we have Eleni in Crestone, who's been one of our mentors, and Cami. We have Allison Burchell, who is a geochemist and she's everything science, everything climate science. She's one of our big advisors for an exciting project where we're waiting to hear back from the EPA. We're going to be launching this year as well. Then we have Paul Nelson, who is a new connection and who's also very passionate about early stage innovation for protecting the planet.
That's right. That's right, Heidi. Hey, hello, everybody. It's my first interaction with Dream Tank. I'm happy to be here. I lead a Boulder-based firm called SARAD Enterprise Partners, and we're a clean tech venture capital and transactional research firm. So everything we do relates to clean energy, clean tech, and one of the attractions to me, or for me, about Dream Tank has to do with the youth angle. We've had a strong internship program at my firm for maybe 5 or 6 years with the University of Colorado, and a number of those interns have ultimately become part of our permanent team. And we just put in our conference room a poster up of the Apollo 11 launch from 1969. And the reason we did that was the average age of engineers at NASA for the Apollo 11 launch that put the first people on the moon was about 27 years old, which meant many were just a few years out of college. And it's just a reminder to all of us the importance of youth in entrepreneurship and building new ideas and companies.
Thank you so much, Paul. And we also have Letitia here. She's off camera, but she is a mom of 2 little kids. We've been friends for now 15 years. She joined me in my money and meaning journey and helping steward wealth holders through transforming money and meaning. And so she's here as well. So I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for coming. Oh, there's Aaron Koroshevsky, who is a big part of one of our other international projects. We don't have a formal program that we're launching or a group that's going to bring it forward yet, so it's not official, but in Loreto, Baja Peninsula, we are working on a project there, and we're excited to keep sharing all of this with you along the way. So I will now launch into phase part 2. Okay.
Amazing. Hello, everyone. This is just like an interactive video to just set the tone for the program I'm doing. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you all today. Today, I'll be talking about my proposed innovation fund called Nova Venture and the accompanying board game called Innovators Odyssey. And basically, before I want to get started, I just want to talk about why I decided to work for Dream Tank. And I talked about a little bit in the beginning, but I want to get more into it now. I saw Dream Tank as an apparatus for dream making. And as a senior about to enter the job market, people who take care of my dreams is really important. I don't want to be dream crushed. And if anyone has ever been dream crushed in this chat, please feel free to interact or leave a comment, because it's a brutal world for people with passionate dreams. And I saw Dream Tank as something that could be a nurturer for me. And I believe in this movement, and I believe in the untapped potential of young people's dreams. I don't think it's just idealistic, contrary to popular belief. I think it's the future. I think that embracing youth is the way we reach innovative solutions and the way we can craft the future that we want. And so I thought, what's the best way to, initiate a norm shift? We need a norm shift in our industry. We need to be more receptive to young people's ideas. And not only that, besides dream crushers, dreamers can be dream crushed themselves. Most ideas don't get started because they don't have the know-how or the confidence to start on their ventures. And so with these concepts, I was really brainstorming an idea that could create a fund that could sort of enhance these two pillars that I'm talking about. And so this is where Nova Venture comes in, which is a youth innovation fund. And you can skip to the next slide. Basically, this is our mission statement. Nova Venture is an innovative experimental venture fund that funds systemic gaps in magic. It aims to explore a new way of investing and thinking about capital in a way that is both profitable and gives leeway to experimentation. Along with mentors such as our systems change finance consultant founder, Heidi Kapari, we want to emphasize a departure from politicized sustainable development frameworks like socially responsible investing and ESG, and create a unifying and cross-sector collaborative fund that creates a new world and collaborative future. We want to lift the metrics. I accidentally skipped the screen. Where is it? Did you stop screen sharing? Is it still on the screen, Heidi?
Yes, it is. Can you see it? Let me reshare.
Yeah, could you mind resharing it? It's not on my screen anymore.
It should have popped up.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we want to flip the metrics for innovation and investing for all of us to be heard and have a thriving future. And so how do we get here? You can skip to the next slide. And actually, Heidi can talk a little bit about this. We want to sort of rethink and reconfigure traditional investment models. And Heidi can talk a little bit about this because she's a little more experienced than I am.
Yes. So, and many of you who have been following the flow of capital in both in the markets and in a balanced portfolio, looking at how can we really leverage this and still align with our values, our mission, and also have profit, right? So there's been a lot of different screens in the financial world. About 40 years ago, the term SRI started being used. It stands for sustainable, responsible, socially responsible investing. And it mostly focuses on screening out. It was like the first phase of people starting to think more intentionally about what they were investing in, because what impact was their portfolio having, right? So this was more a negative screen. So imagine a portfolio is a pie, pizza pie, and you have equities, you have bonds, you have different structures, you have alternative investments. Most people are trained as a financial advisor to do modern portfolio theory. So you have a mix of different types of investment in each asset class. And in early days, there weren't enough investments to make up an entire portfolio of impact. So they started just screening out negative things like tobacco, like alcohol, like gun manufacturers. Really conscious people in the early days started doing that, screening out. And that was really the start of this movement. And then we started embracing the term ESG, which stands for environmental social governance. And that has been more a positive screen. So companies that are companies that actually have 3 or more women on their board outperform in the market. So that's governance. There's social impact metrics, environmental metrics that companies around the world are really starting to take into account on their bottom line. And it's actually starting to translate to outperformance. However, ESG's gotten a bad name lately. Our big human, one of the most obvious people on the planet right now, Elon Musk, kind of poo-pooed it. He said he politicized it. He said that it was made up. I don't want to use the word he actually used. It was made up, and it was used to be politicized for climate change. Well, and the fact that some funds and some companies are calling themselves ESG, but they aren't really, has caused confusion in this market, and it's slowed down the adoption. But for many years, the past 15 years, especially when I was at UBS in 2013 and 2014, that was the fastest growing asset type of capital was ESG investing. And we're starting to see outperformance. Impact investing is a term that really encompasses all of it. It just means you're thinking about the impact, and it's positive with the money that you want to invest. The problem also, I was at the beginning of the impact investing movement. The problem with impact investing in the way that it's been done is it's still focusing on different specific sectors and specific different topics, right? If you will. And it's not focused yet on systems change and collective impact. And that is one of the things I've seen in 25 years, huge gaps in really being able to fund things that need to be in the system in order for it to move forward. So I'll pass it back over to you, Celeste.
Thank you, Heidi. Yeah, and so essentially, we recognize these traditional investment models and we recognize their pitfalls, and we want to be equipped to be a unifying force almost. We want to foster cross-sector collaboration. The reason why we're so gridlocked is because we have all this contention around these investment models. And so essentially, with what we want to do with Nova Venture is we want to have a radical reimagining of how we invest in the future. We want to break away from conventional models that are too rigid and too politicized. And we also don't want to be caught in the trap of politicized frameworks of performative impact. Our goal is to be a unifying force, hence cross-sector collaboration that transcends political and ideological divides. But we also want to flip the metrics of how we define success. Because with innovative solutions, we need to invest in ideas that are big, that are far-reaching. And it's hard for young innovators to get traction with far-reaching ideas because you have that problem with, oh, it's a young innovator. There's a dream crusher that doesn't really trust a young innovator, or it's such a far-reaching idea that it seems a bit too risky to invest in. But we really want to challenge these metrics of success. And so with Nova Venture, what we're trying to do is create a regenerative entrepreneurial ecosystem that has built-in de-risking functions that can allow these entrepreneurial ventures to survive and thrive. Most entrepreneurial ventures probably don't get past in the early stages because of these metrics of success that are built into the system. So you can actually skip to the next one. And so to accomplish this, I reconfigured 7 different ways to think about capital. This could also be synonymous with 7 different metrics to think about how we want to interact with our young innovators. So of course we have financial capital. That one's pretty obvious, so I'm not going to get into it. This is just the necessary funding that will turn ideas into reality. Scale projects to create lasting impact. And this will take the form of seed grants, micro grants, and accelerator programs. But of course, we also want to tackle civic capital as well, because Nova Venture is a fund aligned with sustainable development goals, and we are an impact-led fund. We want to make sure we have positive social impact as well. I also devised a form of capital called civic capital, which refers to the resources, networks, and social norms that enable collective action for common good. But I also wanted to account for negative spillover effects that may occur in these projects, such as resources and workshops that push for ethical development. And then intellectual capital, that one's pretty self-explanatory as well. This is essentially just the resources and programs that Nova Venture will push forward that refer to the collective knowledge, skills, and experience and innovative capacity that we want to instill in our young innovators. And this will take the form of mentorship programs, educational models, networks, and eventually I would like to do a youth summit surrounding this program. And yeah, this sort of solves like the know-how problem that I was talking about earlier. And then we have some new forms of capital as well. I devised something called ripple capital. This basically refers to the systems-based approach that Heidi was mentioning earlier, just like the resources and collectivism involved, that we want to influence interconnected systems and resources that sort of have a multiplier effect. Like, can this be scalable? Scalable in a global sense and even an ideological sense. And we want to create real-time monitoring feedback mechanisms to improve program efficiency. And eventually, throughout the program, when a young innovator enters this program, we want to build a broader consortium of NGOs, businesses, and partnerships for them to have access to. And then we have venture capital. And this is like really important to the core of our program. We really want to fuel the courage to explore new frontiers and turn bold ideas into actions. We want failure to be a growth tool that allows us to create them rather than something that sets us back. And this will go towards programs that are specifically geared towards risk-taking and instilling positivity and empathy throughout others, to know they have it within themselves to pursue their dreams and reach beyond and through themselves. And then we have, of course, ecological capital. My apologies if it's a bit difficult to read. This one's a little bit wordy, but this is just, I wanted to really highlight the sustainable development goals and just have a capital specifically for the environment and ecological ethical ecological well-being, just to make sure that was really highlighted because we don't want to lose focus. And of course, all projects have to be aligned with Sustainable Development Goals. That is one of our requirements. But one thing that we have that's really interesting that we're really excited about is this form of capital called catalytic capital, which refers to high impact, flexible investments designed to unlock solutions for social and environmental challenges that are often overlooked due to their perceived risks or lower financial returns. It serves as a bridge to attract additional funding and scale innovative ideas, and plays a crucial role in empowering young innovators to pursue bold, high-risk projects that drive systemic change. So if you mind skipping to the next slide. And so catalytic capital was something that me and Heidi found because we really wanted a new form of capital. We really wanted to think about the way that we think about long-term investment, being patient with our investors, and how we see impact eventually. And so this is a screenshot from something called from the MacArthur Foundation. They have a catalytic capital consortium. This is just a definition. I'm not going to read it again just for sake of time and redundancy. But what the Catalytic Capital Consortium wants to do is to make substantial progress towards a more just, inclusive, and resilient world. And this will go towards impact-driven enterprises that are involved in social and ecological change that align with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we consider this to eventually be a strategic partner that we want to work with and align ourselves with. But essentially what we want to do different here with catalytic capital is that, do you mind just going back to that one more time? What makes us different with this usage of catalytic capital is that we want to employ catalytic capital towards youth ventures. This doesn't include anything about youth. It's just associated with risk. I think that combining this very novel and new form of capital along with our desire to create youth coalitions could really make a massive ripple effect in the venture industry that we're trying to achieve. You can go to the next one. And so essentially we created a 3-tier program that is designed to coach and essentially with the types of capital we had before, have the innovator in our program eventually go into the launch phase through interacting with different types of capital that I outlined before. So tier 1, we have the ideation phase, and and this will be when the innovator is in the start phase. So do they have something prototyped? Maybe not. Maybe they just have an idea, just a slight glimmer of an idea. And we want to have micro grants of between like $500 to $1,000 just to get their feet off of the ground. This is for early stage concepts, and this is basically essentially the phase where we're giving them the know-how to know that they can even become innovators. So that's what I have there is the financial capital, which is obviously referring to the seed grants, the intellectual capital, and catalytic capital. Intellectual capital, we want to provide modules that align themselves with social and ecological capital to make sure that their project and prototype is aligned with these ideals. And we're going to introduce them to catalytic capital from early on because it is a long-term investment that we want to have patience in and also assess that risk. And in turn, we are investing in venture capital as well, because by interacting with catalytic capital, we are giving them the courage and motivation to know that although it is a risky idea, we are putting faith in them, and we trust that we can de-risk this and make it an idea that will flourish. And so we have the second tier, which is acceleration. This is defined as one of the trickiest phases because this is essentially where you have a prototype, but you're trying to get resources, you're trying to get a patent, you're trying to really get your name out there. But this may be where an innovator may feel stuck, whether it's like navigating the bureaucratic mess that is to find funding, to find mentors. It's a very stressful time and also like a mostly cost-intensive time for them because they are trying to get these patents and trying to get their prototypes to a reasonable spot where it is legitimate. And so we want to create seed funding grants from between $5,000 to $15,000. I'm currently teetering around with the idea of making it a little bit higher. Masante mentioned that. And if anyone has any thoughts on that, I would love to hear feedback on that because tier 2 is the most cost intensive phase, the tier before launching, because you're trying to get everything set and ready. And I'll talk about the programs later. That is the second tier, the acceleration phase. And tier 3 is when they're investment ready. So this is when we assume they've already gone through our programs and have engaged these different types of capital. And we might just give them like another grant for like between like $3,000 to $5,000 just to get their feet off the ground and get them in the launch phase. And at this point, we'll have entrusted that they have their own source of funding and their own source of, and they're ready, and no dream crushers there. Dreams are ready to get launched into the world. So you can skip to the next one.
By the end of this time, they're kind of still pre-commercial actually by the time they come here, but by the end of this process, they'll be either launch ready or investment ready for for-profit investment capital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just want to invite Matei or Cami just to talk about any of the work they did, but I just want to talk about a bit of their program. That's really interesting. It's a new program. And actually, Matei, if you want to like talk about
graduate from Leeds Business School. So he's recently just 2 years out of business school, just to give a little background story. And just like the way that one of the ways that collective impact works and multi-stakeholder collaboration works is if you engage everyone early in the process, right? You need to know everybody's issues in order to solve for them. So Matei is actually one that struggled with capital in Silicon Valley, moved from Colorado. So I just want to give that backstory. Hi, Matei.
Yes, absolutely. Hello. Yeah, so briefly, I guess, about Asante, we are a pretty interesting new marketing channel that empowers small, medium-sized businesses within your local communities. But broadly, I'll just speak about my fundraising experience, since that's what it applies to this specifically. But yeah, after I graduated from Leeds School of Business, Boulder, I moved out to San Francisco with the sole purpose of essentially getting not only team members for Asante, but also capital. Since it is kind of the innovation, or what we all like to think of like the innovation hub in the US or in the world even. And so I moved to San Francisco, and I found a lot of challenges within the fundraising sphere. It is very club-based, unfortunately, but also understandably so. And it doesn't really empower impact-driven businesses. I think if you look at all the major businesses that have been highly influential in today's society, they have been launched pre-dot-com boom. So Facebook, or like Apple, for example, or even Microsoft. And those entrepreneurs had funders backing them that believed in their wildest ideas. I mean, Steve Jobs was saying everybody would have a personal computer, and back then that was an insane thought ever, right? However, in today's kind of fundraising sphere, it's more about creating features that build upon systems that already have been created rather than creating new systems, right? So a lot of VCs, accelerators will often fund quick kind of flips, essentially, is what I like to call it. They're not funding new systems and new disruptions, essentially. And I think that's where our generation kind of comes in, because we've both grew up with the internet and without the internet. So we're able to kind of take a step back and with social media and without social media, and maybe even a little bit before the internet too. But anyway, so we're able to understand like these systems from a further back perspective, which allows us to create really innovative ideas that need to become funded and need the resources to be funded as well. So yeah, I am really, really proud of Celeste, and I want to express my gratitude to Celeste with what she's put together. I think it's really impactful, and it's definitely going in the right direction. And I wanted to express my gratitude to Heidi for organizing all of this and being the glue and beyond glue and the gas and the energy that keeps us moving forward. And yeah, I really believe that this innovation fund and kind of accelerator can be a disruptor in the whole accelerator and fund space currently because it needs it. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Matei is another one of those divine spark magic of how we met. I literally one day I was sitting at my office at my desk and I just got this thought. I had to go to lunch at Zomama. I don't know why. I just had this thought. I had to go to lunch at Zomama. And I just got up and I went to lunch at Zomama. And I'm sitting there and I hear there's Matei and another lead student talking about their startups and how they were actually critiquing their own curriculum at Leeds and what they thought it needed, which I picked up on. And I just said, excuse me, I have to introduce myself. And here we are. Several years later, Matei, you've been amazing following up and staying in touch and showing up. And we hope that we want Matei's company, to be one of the first applicants for the tier 2 or tier 3. And so again, we're creating solving the problem along the way with the recipients. So thank you so much. And Cami is now, and this is a safe place to say this. Cami's the COO, and Cami is Matei's mom, right? So we have a whole, the family here. I have my kids on my advisory board. She's the COO. This is the new way, right? Is we all support each other. So I just wanted
I do think, Heidi, that for us, at least in Asante's case, Asante would not be possible without Matei or without me, because we both bring our own expertise, our own knowledge. I don't pretend to understand the Gen Z generation. And at the same time, I bring on board the experience from the business space and innovation space. It was really a pleasure working with Celeste and supporting this amazing project. And we hope Dream Tank will be one of the first nonprofits on Asante platform when we launch.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your help for all of this.
I want to check in though, Celeste. It's 9:27. We have 3 minutes on the initial program. You want to just this is budget stuff. We have grants. We put budget.
I'm gonna breeze through it really quickly. I'm actually just gonna talk about the programs because I didn't get into that. So just tier 1, I'm just gonna breeze through it. So I apologize if it's not very talked about, but we want to do collective impact models. We talk about doing clubs in schools, prototyping workshops, pitch deck workshops, and building cohorts at this stage. You can skip to the next one. And that's some criteria that we have. And one of our main criteria is do you have joy while you're doing this, and do you instill joy in others around you? Because a lot of entrepreneurs are very depressed and it's hard for them to get their start. So you want to make sure that joy is a central principle and criterion that we look for as well. You can skip to the next one.
So we're creating a new quotient like EQ. It's joy Q.
Yeah, and then we have the acceleration phase. And in this one, we are also going to focus on legal and operational support. So you want to get lawyers, perhaps pro bono, that will help with intellectual property and patents for people who need to access that. And also we want to perhaps get some financial mentors as well to assist them with the bureaucratic stuff, and as well as just navigating how to access grants or how to even finance themselves is really important in this stage. And also one thing we want to emphasize in tier 2 is team building. Is there synergy amongst the team members? And we want to simulate team building workshops and money workshops. So this is where they're getting a lot of counseling as well.
Yeah, and I just wanted to highlight the great new phrase, another new phrase we came up with.
Friends before founders. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Very important. How many people know what we're talking about? Raise your hand, right? You have to be friends and in flow with your founder. You have to be in alignment on so many levels. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So harmony and team building is so critical, and shared communication frameworks, integrity frameworks. How do we make sure we create trust in a team? These are all things that we've studied, we've implemented across many different areas as well.
Stay there, man. I'm about to give you 1,000. Shove it up their ass. Give you 1,000 buy a pill. Sleep more.
Okay, we can skip to that. It's just criteria, we can skip to the next one, just for time's sake. But yeah, and then 2 or 3 is just the scaling and launching, adjusting your prototype, market input and feedback. We're gonna hopefully, you're good. Yeah, and sorry for rushing through it a little bit as I make sure that we're within time. We want to make sure and help them making adjustments, encouraging them to get ready to launch an equity raise and navigating legal costs in their prototyping before they make their launch. Yeah, so you can skip to the next one. That's just some criteria that we have, what we look for in an innovator at that stage. Yeah, and that's just like going more into the joy-driven. This is just like streamlined criteria that we look for. Like, do they have joy? Is it scalable impact and purpose first? And eventually I want to do a youth summit. I don't have time to talk about it today, but it'd be a 3-day summit with a lot of workshops that would sort of incorporate the modules I've been talking about so far, as well as it creates a broader community and collective impact by creating networking events and also workshops to help with the founders, synergy within the founders. We also want to have some Gen Z consultants, workshops for prototyping, financing, all those things we talked about that we help out each step in one broader youth summit. And we even discussed perhaps doing a pitch competition as well for the younger ones. So yeah, we can skip ahead. And then this is just budgeting stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
we have identified a total amount we want to raise to get this going. So this is we can always get in talking more. We want to start with $300,000. And again, we're at the end of time, so we can talk more about that.
Another time. Yeah. And I can send this to anyone who's interested and wants to take a closer look as well.
So we really, I gave Celeste lessons in nonprofit fundraising and budgeting. And so she has divided everything up in the 3 categories typical to nonprofit budgets, which is fundraising, admin and op, and program. So she's working with the parameters that foundations usually look for as well.
And then just to parallel this game, I'd like to create like a board game that kind of follows along this journey in a gamified way. If you want to click on the link real quick, I can just show them super briefly what I would want to eventually do. Keep in mind, this is just conceptual. This is just more like so that the aesthetics and a lot of the world building of the game still has yet to come, but it would look something like this. Just a more interactive way of the hero's journey. And of course, we have enlightening dream crushers as finding and challenging social doubt within oneself, and eventually reaching the innovation oasis or tier 3 through Nova Venture, where they're ready to launch in the world and be confident in themselves and their dreams.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for now. We have one more little video.
Yeah,
Walk
it's like
through the door with us. I like that. It's beautiful. Okay. So I know that we're at the end of the time, and we really want to hear from everyone who's still here, your thoughts, how you want to collaborate. We'll send follow-ups. We want to hear just one thing from everybody who's here, just so we can get a sense of how all this is landing. And we wish that we had more time for actual like back and forth and breakouts. We tried to do it in an hour and a half. Every time we learned something. So here we are. I'm going to call on, if I don't hear, if I'm going to say Bueller, I really want somebody to comment. 5, 4, 3, 2. Eleni, you're on mute.
I said I knew you were going to call on me. I'll make it brief since we're already over time. So I just want to acknowledge the incredible progress that was made to be a witness to the mystery of this journey together that Heidi orchestrated so brilliantly and created this amazing opportunity for 3 people, 3 students that didn't even know each other to collaborate together and then to collaborate with our Kenyan delegates who have shown up almost every meeting, just generously witnessing, giving their time, offering their presence and their energy to this process, and to think about what the impact will be. There's the journey to the impact, but if we can visualize, envision, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And that in and of itself is what generates this bubbling joy and willingness to jump in as volunteers. And that's what we've all been doing, is volunteering to enable this new way of creating, using youth-empowered innovation and so much more, because it's, as Heidi always says, it's multi-generational. It
The
can't
young
be done
people,
without
by the
all
way,
age groups. What's that?
are getting paid. The interns are getting paid.
Oh, right.
We
We
already flipped it.
yes,
We already flipped things on the
very, very modest pay.
I know, but
That's
they got
it.
a stipend from Brown. Yeah.
Right.
And then
And I'm in awe of the brilliance. I'm just in awe of the brilliance of the generosity, the spirit, and so the impact is what we're all envisioning together, which is a world that is more compassionate, a world that cares about our planet, a world that manages resources effectively and doesn't plunder them or extract continuously and consume without giving back, a world that is based on a reciprocity of exchange. And that's what we're building. And to be able to witness these amazing, innovative young people saying yes. And this is the power of yes. Just the power of yes is igniting this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Eleni.
much.
Thank you. And just a little teaser that one of our projects that we're going to be embarking on, a 2-year project in Crestone, Colorado, mobilizing the youth of the San Luis Valley to create cleaner water, cleaner air, and do emergency preparedness and really mobilize and activate their whole community. So that's upcoming. We'll host different meetings and webinars on all these different projects. And I know the next person knows who I'm going to call. I know you know I'm going to call you. So you might as well just say, Allison. You're on mute.
So,
oh, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
Oh, go closer. Go closer.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Weird. Guys, I just got my computer back 15 minutes before.
Yes.
I signed back online. Listen, I have an interesting Zoom conversation. I am a delegate from many organizations to the United Nations Climate Action Network. And I'm listening to the same old, what are we going to do again? And over and over and all the things that you guys have been talking about. And I'm just sitting here smiling and laughing because I told them, what I want to do is I want to bring, we have a number of science projects. One's very important, and you all know about it. It's the wristband project. And this is just going viral. I mean, people from the State Department and the EPA and the administration in California, they're all like, okay, how are we going to do this? So when you guys can wrap your heads around this and you have your rollout model, I mentioned to the United Nations today, because we had a smaller group, I said, you know, you're in this loop, guys, of that we're going to write some words and we're going to make some policy and we're going to change the world. And it's not happening like that anymore. And I talked to him a little bit about the wristbands and a little bit about what you're doing. And I said, I want to schedule in a couple of months, I want to schedule a Dream Tank session for you guys to re-inspire you, because you're stuck in this old policy mode, you know, step 1, step 2, 3 thing. And I just think, you know, let's bring the youth in right now. Let's shake things up, because we can't, but we have very little time to save this planet. So let's bring in your enthusiasm. Let's bring in our mutual investors. Let's make this happen. I'm committed.
Right on. Thank you.
I got the policy team for the US CAN to say, okay, we'll take that under consideration. Work on that.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you
Allison.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share anything before we go? And it's okay if you drop off. We'll send all kinds of follow-up. What we're gonna have this is also the 4th group that does from Brown, but this is the first group that really wants to keep working on this project even while they're at school, which is really a big deal when you're at a school like Brown. So that's why it's not the end of seeing all of us, and it's okay, you know, if we don't get to everything and you don't get to offer your thoughts.
Thank you for taking the time to watch us today as well. I really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed the presentation and liked hearing all the different ideas. I myself do some work in like political and like youth like organizing space, but like more at like the Colorado level. And one of my recent ideas was to incorporate like a educational card game. So I like that part of what you shared as well. And I think you can loop in the different types of capital you came up with into that board game model. And so I'm down to talk more about that and keep in touch with Heidi and the see what y'all are up to.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Braden. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. It's like, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, adieu. But you have to do the dun 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 before you leave.
Too tired for that.
Okay, who else wants to make a little comment before we sign off? It's okay if you don't. It's late. We'll get together again. I would love to take a quick screenshot. I have to unpin everybody. Remove spotlight, remove spotlight. You all did such a spectacular job sharing your projects. I'm so honored and excited for the next phase. And I should have taken the picture earlier. Okay, so on the count of 3, please just make a fun face. Everyone come off camera, come on camera. I, White, Arnold, everyone. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you all so much, and we will see you soon. Dream big.
Dream big. Thank you guys.
Dream big.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, and let's stop the recordings and everything. I don't have to stop all this stuff.